welcome to Sports Counsel, your playbook for all things sports. I am your host Matt, and I am here with G and special guest Mitty for this episode of the show. On today's episode, we're doing some buy or sell on some of the biggest fantasy headlines according through the season. Will the Cowboys' offense be fantasy gold for the rest of the year? Is it finally over for Derrick Henry? We discuss. Plus, we recap Week 4 in fantasy football and reveal our starts and sits for Week 5. Today is September 30th, 2025, and this is episode 188 of the show. It's a late night podcast. It's going to be a little interesting tonight, huh?
Shit gets crazy in the late night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our episodes are a little freaky. A little freaky sometimes then.
Just the way we like it, huh, Matt?
Let's get to the show here. We have a lot to discuss. Buy or sell. Week 5 starts and sits. But before we get to that, G, we are Sports Counsel. Where can they find Sports Counsel, G?
I would love to tell the people where they can find us. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up your phone. You're going to go to your favorite social media app. You're going to look up sports_counsel. Couldn't be easier. 2 words with 1 underscore in between. And that's on all social media. X, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you like, wherever you go, we'll be on there. Go ahead, drop us a follow, ask away, tweet away, whatever it is, comment. We're going to be interacting with you there. But also, if you're kind of more interested in some more conversation, go join our Discord, where you'll find us always, reacting to the latest news, things going on and around different sports, especially with, basketball picking up again. There's always random trades that happen, random things that are going to happen. We'll be there first place talking about it. So join there. Fantasy advice as well. Who doesn't need a good starter sit place to go? So that's where you can find us. Couldn't be easier, right, Matt?
That's right, G. We are popping right now on all our social medias. We are answering questions and comments on Threads and Instagram and Twitter. Shout out to some of our fans out here. Bonnie, I believe, on Threads. Thank you so much, Bonnie. I love the interactions. I love talking with you on all the advice and stuff like that. It's great to see the fan interactions. And again, you can always join us on our Discord, and we have a lot more fan interactions there. So, great stuff.
Well, with that being said, we're going to do a recap of our Week 4 in our Listener League. So, quick recap. We did our Listener League draft 4 weeks ago, just like every other draft. This is our weekly update on it. So, we're going to start off with our first matchup. We have fellow host here today, Ella Schwartz, Matt, the YMC3. The young men, younger than ever?
Versus the
alumni of the show, the dang bus, Gav. And you gave him a nice little 30-point ass whooping, huh? How about it?
I told you, man. I told you that when I got back into the country, I told my team I had to lock in. And I think we had an episode 2 weeks ago about panicking and patience and the rookie players. Hey, I did not panic. I told people not to panic. And that's why I rode this win on the back of Omarion Hampton, 27 points, Ted McMillan with 10, Travion Henderson, first touchdown of the year, and, Drake May, shout out Drake May. He's 23 years old. He's killing it right now. Demolished the Panthers. So, Young Men's Club, we ride. We're going to get hot.
Yeah, fuck you, Gav, wherever you are listening to this. That takes us to our next matchup. We got Team Nando 41 versus Celtics D Romeo. We got 152 to 122. The exact same score to your score as well, Matt. It was 151 to 122. So another 30-point win, this time by Nando against Celtics. Puts both of them at even 2-2. We got our next matchup of other fellow co-hosts today. Mitty, Team Mitty Whoop'em versus Bryant here, elderly running back retirement home. It's getting really ugly, and it's one of those times where, yes, the 6th most points scored, but it's not getting it done. And again, he loses to Mitty in a close 139-144.
This is the saddest shit ever, man. He had George Pickens, who had 33 points. It saved a lot of people on Sunday Night Football. It saved me in one league, but it didn't save Bryant because Mitty, your team is just too good. What's the secret?
Oh, I just want to get started and say I really appreciate the Eagles, appreciate Jalen Hurts for not doing anything on offense because the Eagles' defense is pretty much their offense, as like I said. But it came out pretty close. I didn't think Sutton was going to get it done. Shout out to Cortland Sutton. So that's a big shout out right there. But yeah, came through with the win and happy about it. Team played well. But yeah, I'll take the win.
Yeah, and you also have Puka Nakua, who's the wide receiver 1 right now, scoring 36 points for you. Is insane.
That'll
It's a
help.
demon.
That would definitely help.
Yeah, that's a demon right there.
I wish I got him. I don't
Yeah,
have
we all do, Matt. We all do. That takes us to our next matchup. Another very close matchup between a whole lot of baby mamas, as in Dylan, and then against Decker, who was 3-0. Hint, hint. 115, 113. Dylan actually comes away and wins this one. Very close matchup here. I know if Dylan was here, he'd probably say something of the nature of, good job, team.
I am a little... I don't know about the score because I heard that Kyron Williams is going to have a stat correction potentially on his fumble, which means that would give Josh O 2 more points. So let's hope.
But I think he still loses, though. It's 115
that would be funny.
115.86 to 113.56. So
yeah,
it
so
is
if he gets those 2 points,
2.3.
it's 0.3, which would be brutal. But
would be hilarious.
Who knows? Who knows what will happen in the world of stat corrections? But
how life changes so fast for Decker 99. 2 weeks in a row, top scorer, now nowhere to be found.
Damn, you really agitating him, huh?
Oh yeah, I am. That's a personal friend of mine, so just want to give him a hard time. And so second to last matchup here for the week was as Juice Shitwater, also known as Ugly Kid, 110 versus Jamar, 4th down syndrome, 134 to 110. Another handily won game. And if you look at Ugly Kid's roster, you'll notice half the people are off this roster already.
Poor Ugly Kid, because I'll give him this. I mean, some teams lose because they don't have any talent. Some teams lose just because they faced a bad, week. I feel like Ugly Kid's, roster was okay, but he's also very hurt. He has Darnell Mooney out, Jaden Daniels out, Terry McLaurin just got out.
And he has Rashee Rice.
Yeah, and Rashee Rice, but I mean, he drafted him. He knew he was going to be out. So it's just, that sucks. It sucks. And I think Ugly Kid's, it's starting to set in. He's saying, what if I go winless in Sports Counsel history? Like, is this the first time ever that a team will go winless in our listener league? Yes, but I don't think that will happen because we've literally had teams that have gone inactive that have somehow won games. So if that happens, it's very impressive.
Yeah, well, with that being said, he still is unfortunately 0-4. And that takes us to our final matchup. Best matchup, as per usual. Sure. The women respecters are now 4-0. Played Microphone Assassins or J-Rock's E-Kittens at a nice 136 from J-Rock. But, hey, what did I tell you, Matt, last week and the week before that? You're going to need to drop at least 150 if you want to beat me. And I wouldn't have done it this week because I had 166. So the team's just looking nice. Unfortunately, I was the Neighbors owner in this league. So that was 166 with 4 points from Neighbors.
And you know who you play next week, right?
Oh, shit, dude. I'm so scared. Oh, my God. What the fuck, bro? Fuck a team Mitty whooping. Nah, that's not going to be close, bro.
If you don't know what that means, that means it's G versus Mitty. 3-1 versus 4-0. I mean, G, your team looks unstoppable, by the way. I don't think there's anything that could stop you right now. It's just unbeatable.
The Neighbors injury was bad, but I was also the main beneficiary of having Wandale Robinson already on my roster and having Jalen Waddle, who is also now going to get the vice versa of the injury bug. He's going to get rewarded by more touches, not being the wide receiver one. Also have Woody Marks on my bench, so I feel confident with my depth. I'm projected the same as Mitty, and I don't have a starting defense, so we'll see what happens,
Mitty, you going to take that? What are you going to say about that?
All I'm going to say is we'll see what happens this Sunday. I'm confident. I'm very confident in my team. My team's been playing good.
It is 1 versus 2, though. This is the best matchup we could have so far. So,
family,
it's a
ties,
prime time,
blood rivalry.
Yeah,
can't get better than this.
It's like Eli versus Peyton.
Who's Eli? Who's Peyton?
I guess we'll find out, huh?
I'll take Peyton.
With the quick update on the standings, we have, as I said, I'm at first place, 4-0. Mitty's at second with 3-1. Dylan at 3-1 at third place, and Decker 3-1, Matt 3-1. That rounds up your 2 through 5, and then we got a group of 3 here in D Romeo, Nando, and Jamar, who are 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12. This gets really ugly. It's Gav, Microphone Assassins, and our 0-4 buds, Bryant and Ugly Kid. If you guys had to place a bet between who gets a win first, who do you guys think it's going to be?
I'm going to take Bryant because Bryant scored 6 most fantasy points right now. It's just a matter of bad luck. But,
Ugly Kid, I hope you win, Matt. I got my money on you.
I hope they both win. But, right now...
It would be funny if Bryant keeps losing because he's going to be on this pod again later eventually. So
that's so sad. It'd be like
it would be funny, bro.
If I was 0-4, I don't know if I would keep coming on, and I'm the host. So,
well, with that being said, if you were paying attention at all during the recap, I was the weekly highest scorer, so I get to decide our topic of the week. I decided that we will quickly give our MLB predictions as playoffs start today. So take that into account. Wink, wink. Yankees aren't going to win the series. But what do you guys got?
As a residential Cubs fan, I would say I have the Cubs beating the Padres because I think they played well today. Those 2 home runs back-to-back helped. But if I had a fair prediction about who would win the World Series, it's probably going to have to be the Brewers. Even though I hate the Brewers, but I think the Brewers are probably just going to take it all the way because they've just been a hot baseball team.
I feel like that's a lot of baseball, right? It's just like being hot during like late September going into October. So I think that's the big part of it. I feel like that's how it always goes, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm not much of a baseball watcher unless it's my Giants in October or if it's betting. And that's primarily what I've seen this season is just for, pitcher strikeouts or odds or whatever like that. So don't really follow it much. And it's because, honestly, I don't agree with baseball being a salary capless league because now we see fucking Shohei Ohtani have deferred contracts and shit.
All right. Uncle.
Dodgers creating a super team. I don't like that shit. Because it's just ridiculous. But the Dodgers are going to win it all because they are the MLB favorites and darlings, and they can defer enough contracts and sign enough Japanese players to eventually, absorb the league. So there you go.
Well, Matt, I disagree with you on that, but we'll save that for another day. I do not think the Dodgers are the best team right now.
They don't have to be. I think
they don't have to be, and they're not. They're going to win if they're not.
They're super talented. It doesn't matter. How many MVPs
they look really
do
good
they have?
Well, with that being said, I think they'll win this round. They looked great against the Reds. It's going to be a cakewalk. They'll win in 2 games. It's a best of 3. I actually think the Padres can come back and beat the Cubs. Unfortunately, Mitty as well. I wanted to mention that. I think that Padres team is really good.
He's just doing that to trash talk you, Mitty.
I'm not totally. I think the Red Sox will upset the Yankees, which would be cool. And then it's the other AL matchup, Tigers. I don't know if you guys watched the games at all today, but that man Screwball, 14 Ks, 8 innings
he was
almost.
Fire.
He was on fire. Yeah, Cy Young for sure. But they're going to have to go against the Mariners. I think my final prediction is going to be Mariners in the World Series, first time ever franchise history, versus the Philadelphia Phillies. I think it's the Phillies' year. I think last year they had a good run last year. This year I think they're just hitting on just different levels, and they got the pitchers, which I think where the Dodgers lack is reliable bullpen pieces.
Definitely think the Phillies can beat the Dodgers because I know the Dodgers are going to advance, but I definitely think Phillies can beat them.
And my thing with the Brewers is just I've never seen the Brewers in the playoffs really my whole life.
They've been in the playoffs. Even I remember the Brewers.
Like that back of I feel like a minute ago. It's like recently.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I don't think they're much of a contender, and this year kind of they came out of nowhere with that this team. So I don't know. I don't believe it. I'll have to believe it once I see it.
Guess I'll root for the Mariners in that case.
Yeah,
Mariners would be fun. Yeah, they've never made it, which is pretty cool.
That's a nice story.
Yeah, that's one team I'd root for.
They have some
Can't root for no
guys.
Philly team.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, come on, the Phillies are lit.
I don't care. No Philly. There's no Philly.
It's so funny because it's like the opposite. Like I feel like a lot of the Eagle players, and the Eagles in general get a lot of hate, but the Phillies are so loved.
Bryce Harper.
Especially because of the player. Bryce Harper's a very like one of the most jersey sale players in the league, and Kyle Schwarber is a fan favorite every year.
Schwarber's
And,
cool.
Yeah,
I miss
Schwarber's
that
cool.
guy.
Yeah, he was on the Cubs, huh?
Yeah, former Cub.
With that being said, did you guys want to give so Dodgers, Phillies, and then is it Cubs for you, Mitty, or you really gonna say the Brewers?
Based on I'm gonna probably go Brewers. I mean, if anything, I'm probably more leaning to the Mariners, to be honest.
Okay. Well, with
Yeah,
that
I'd probably
information,
go
I don't
Mariners.
think anybody should place any bets with that information. I think any of us will probably be right.
You know I'm right.
Baseball's a
It's a
different
money
game.
league. Money talks.
Yeah.
Well, that is your listener league recap. That is your listener league topic. Interesting topic, G. I mean, we don't usually have an MLB podcast episode, so I don't know. Maybe we should sometime talk baseball.
Yeah. America's favorite pastime, right?
Postseason works
Don't even
that.
get that. I don't get that at all, honestly.
Yeah.
Is it just because we're just sitting there in the summer and we're just talking and shit? I don't know.
We're just talking shit. Like literally, I don't get it.
That's what it is, though. Okay, I don't want to spread my hate for baseball, but I respect baseball enough. But it's just I don't get that.
It doesn't sound like it, but I'll take your word.
No, I'll watch it in the summer, but I'm not saying, oh, this is my favorite pastime of the summer.
All right. I really hate baseball, bro.
Nah, man. I'm probably the least baseball fan of everyone here.
And that's true. It definitely seems like that.
I'd say baseball was my first love sport, but it kind of died out to me. But like I said, the postseason is pretty fun.
I appreciate it, but it's just my third favorite sport behind basketball and football, and we're going to get back to football right now. So, back to fantasy football, 4 weeks into the regular season, which means that's already a quarter of the way through your fantasy football season. Time flies fast, guys. Like, we only have 3 months left of fantasy football. Where did it all go, man? It's so weird.
The team's already on bye, which is crazy.
Yeah, we have
Doesn't
bye weeks
feel
now.
right.
It's going to get harder.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for, I know we said to not give up in terms of like your winless teams, but it is going to start getting harder now because of these bye weeks, because of all this stuff. And we're going to prepare you with that with the starts and sits this week. But for now, there's a lot of narratives going on. We're past the week 1 overreactions. We've settled in from week 2. We've waited a couple of weeks, and now everyone's going to start creating new kind of narratives, new kind of projections based off of 1 month of football. And, it is obviously more stable in terms of predictions over 4 weeks of data versus 1 week of data. But at the same time, some of these narratives are a little bit sketchy, to say the least, because a lot can happen in September versus, the rest of the year. So we're going to play buy or sell on some of these narratives in terms of fantasy football and kind of the top performers right now and see whether or not we actually buy that this will be the case for the rest of the season. So let's start off with one regarding the wide receivers right now. I think there's been a lot of the same old in terms of the wide receivers, like Amon-Ra St. Brown is wide receiver 2, Puka Nacua surprisingly, but also unsurprisingly is wide receiver 1. He's had the history of that, right? But one of the biggest surprises has been Rome Odunze and Quentin Johnston. They are wide receiver 3 and 4 in PPR right now, and I don't think anyone saw it coming because Odunze was like a maybe double-digit draft pick in the fantasy drafts. I don't think Quentin Johnston was even drafted probably in a lot of leagues, and he was picked up off waivers. But he's sustained that production over 4 weeks now. I think he's had almost a touchdown in every single one, or double digits in every single one. So, do you buy or sell that Odunze and Quentin Johnston are top 10 wide receivers rest of season?
I'm going to sound very optimistic and I guess like recency bias, but I think they are. And I can make the argument for both of them, and I will, in the sense of Rome Odunze. I think this is what you expected when you hired Ben Johnson, was a efficient, good offense where Rome would probably be better connected with a Caleb Williams. I just don't think, that system is made for a DJ Moore type of player, and not in the fashion they're using him. But the way they use Rome Odunze is very similar to how they used Amon-Ra St. Brown back in the day, and he's just getting these main touches as a wide receiver 1. with Quentin, it's like the volume is there. It's hard to argue because it's like the Chargers in themselves are passing the ball so much. I think it has a lot to do with their injuries on their O-line. And he's just put it together, it looks like, finally. Using his hands properly, which we didn't think was going to be a surprise. But
I do somewhat question in terms of the Chargers. Eventually, I feel like those O-line changes, like I think they lost their left tackle, who was already their backup left tackle because Slater was already out. So, and then I think Mekhi Becton is also hurt. So I do wonder.
Joe Alt is also hurt.
Joe Alt is hurt. Mekhi Becton's hurt. Rashawn Slater's hurt. So I just wonder. And they're passing at an incredible rate right now. Like all 3 wide receivers are getting targets. 2 of them are actually catching it. But I don't know how much passing they're going to be able to keep doing if Justin Herbert's not going to have enough time to pass. Right? Eventually, I think that they're going to go and kind of regress to the mean a little bit, do a little bit more running. It is a Greg Roman offense. So I think that's the only detractor I have with that. Mitty, I mean, you're a Bears fan. You've seen Odunze up close. Do you think it's sustainable?
Yeah, I think it's pretty sustainable. I think, DJ Moore's not being used often as I want him to, because that is one of my favorite wide receivers. Even before he was on the Bears too, I was a huge DJ Moore fan, but I don't think he just fits well with this offense. And they're using him at different positions, like running back too. That was that was pretty creative, but I just don't think it's his wide receiver 1 role anymore. So it's off to Odunze, because Odunze has been on fire. So as long as Caleb keeps it going, we have seen a little bit of inconsistency from the quarterback position as well, but they have been connecting pretty well. So as long as they keep that going, even after this bye week coming up, then I can see, Odunze being that top target. So that's pretty much what I have to say. Yeah.
Do you think DJ Moore gets traded?
I hope not, but maybe. I would say maybe. It'll be looked at during the trade deadline. I know that's a hot topic too as well, because I know they want to prioritize on Quentin. I mean, not Quentin. I'm sorry, Luther Burden. But yeah, at the same time, we'll see what happens, because
I think it makes sense though for both sides though, right? Like if you're talking about DJ Moore, like he's not fitting the offense. They're using him this weird like wide back. Shout out to Debo. What method, but it's super like ineffective, I would say. He's obviously not
that kind of
meant to be. He's not that type of player. He is a break tackles and yak type of guy, but that's off a screen or a slant or something like that. Not really like a running back. He's not going to really break too many D lineman tackles and stuff. So I don't know what they're doing. But besides that, I think if I had to pick between the two, I'd definitely pick Rome over Quentin for the rest of the year for sure.
Yeah,
interesting.
I would say one more thing that's pretty valuable is they're going to have to find a way to get him involved as well, even though he's not been involved, because teams pick up on that quick, like we talked about with QJ as well, and the Chargers offense, like their scheme that they're trying to run, which is heavy pass. They're definitely going to have to take a look into that, and then that opens a little bit up for DJ Moore, but at the same time, we'll have to see how that happens with the connection of him and Caleb, and how Ben Johnson wants to prioritize that as well. Because if the Bears also want to win more games and put up points too, like I think that Raiders game was pretty close, I think you're going to have to get DJ Moore more involved, most definitely. That way it opens up on both sides, yeah.
I believe Rome's going to be better than QJ just because, again, the passing rate for Herbert, 34 attempts, 27, 47 passing attempts, and then 41 last week. I don't know if that's sustainable. And then they also have a good running back. They have a good run game. For the Bears, I don't think they have a good run game. I'm sorry. I have Swift in a couple leagues. I don't think he's it. And I think Ben Johnson knows that. So I think they're going to keep passing because they have to keep passing. For the Chargers, I don't know if they're going to have to keep passing. So
the Bears will draft a running back next year. I can already see that.
Yeah, and I think for the Chargers, I think that if they're the one receiver that takes the biggest hit is going to be Keenan Allen going forward. I think his production is unsustainable. I think he's wide receiver 9 right now.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be able to keep that up. And I think
can't happen.
If I had to bet it, I'd imagine Ladd will end up finishing the season as a higher receiver than Keenan Allen.
That's interesting. I think the chemistry-wise, it hasn't really been there. I've seen him drop a couple last week, but I think they're too good to get it going. And then Keenan, I think the older receivers usually play better at the beginning of the season, but kind of fall off afterwards. And we know Keenan's injury history. So I agree with you there, G. I don't think it's sustainable that he's top 10. So maybe consider trading him right now. Sell high.
Yeah. I mean, I guess speaking of sell high, that leads us right into our next topic. And I'm going to ask you this one, Matt. The Cowboy offense, best offense in the league right now. Do you think it's going to continue to excel and be that fantasy gold, rest of the season? We have Dak, who's a QB 10, Javonte, who's RB 6, Pickens, wide receiver 6, Ferguson, tight end 1. And I mean, I'm sure when CD comes back, he'll also get a bunch of touches. Like, if you had to bet, are any of these guys going to finish top 10 in their position? Are we buying or selling on those? What do you got for me, Matt?
I'm going to buy. I am absolutely going to buy. And honestly, it's just a belief that I've had since even in summer. Like, I thought this Cowboys offense was going to be a gold mine because even before the Micah Parsons trade and now with the Micah Parsons trade, their defense sucks. I think I saw a tweet where it said that the Cowboys offense is first in the league and the Cowboys defense is 32nd in the league. So it's literally like yin and yang, and they are sustaining each other right now because without a terrible defense, the offense will have to keep on scoring. And they're just simply too talented right now. Dak, we know he's a top 10 proven quarterback when he's healthy. He can do enough in terms of the pass, and they said he wants to run a little bit more. He was hesitant before because he had a couple of injuries there, and now we've seen him try to run a little bit more, and I think did he run in for a touchdown, or am I misremembering that? I feel like he was running a little bit.
He did run in for one. Yeah, he threw for 3 and passed for 3 and ran for 1.
Yeah. So I think he's going to put a little bit more on the ground, but we don't even need that because he's got so much volume. Pickens, as long as CD's out, is a great option, and I think he'll be a great option, but a little bit more inconsistent when CD's back. CD's obviously going to be a stud. Ferguson, I don't know if that's sustainable because, I think right now he's taking advantage of all the mid-range passes that Dak throws to CD usually, and he gets them now. Javonte is the biggest question mark because I don't know if he's going to keep on running this well and getting these touchdowns. But I mean, again, there's nobody to compete with him right now. I think Miles Sanders just got hurt. Jadon Blue, it seems like they don't really trust him yet because he's not really even active for most of the games. So I'd be a little cautious on that, but I'm not selling him at all. I'm not selling any of these guys. They're going to it's just like the Bengals last year. They just have to keep scoring to try to win games. They're not going to win them, but they're going to put a lot of points for your team.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. This offense is set up to succeed, and not really in real life, but fantasy-wise for 100%. And if you're really you want to buy a nice chunk of this Cowboys offense, it might be a good time to go and get a CeeDee Lamb, right? I think if you're, have a guy maybe like a Quentin or a Rome, you want to go get yourself CeeDee Lamb because when he comes back, he's going to be on a tear. I just already can tell. And Dak's going to continue being on a tear. He's been a great quarterback in real life, a great quarterback in dynasty, just fantasy football in general. I think he'll continue to keep that up. I have no reason to disagree with you, Matt.
Yeah. I mean, we don't like the Cowboys, neither of us, but I think we have to.
I doubt they win a lot of these games either, just like the Bengals.
Yeah, but I do want to add a caveat, though. They are great options when they're indoors. For some reason, when they were out in Chicago, they were just terrible. I don't know if it's like a home versus road thing or it's like an outside versus inside thing, but you might want to be a little bit more cautious when they are playing outside. All right, let's go to our third and final narrative here. This is for Mitty. All right, Mitty. Derrick Henry has struggled so far to start the season. I believe he's fumbled in the first 3 games, and currently he's the running back 22, and I think people drafted him around the RB5 to RB8 range. He was drafted in your first 2 rounds. And, he's been an incredible running back. He's been a top 10 running back almost every single year for 6 years. The only time he wasn't was when he got hurt and he broke his foot. But do you think at age 31, Derrick Henry will finish outside the top 10 running backs in fantasy this season?
Due to the change of environment, and also I think with the Ravens struggling as well, putting up a good offense, I think this is the year that he goes outside
Damn.
for sure. Yeah, I would say it. the change of environment is definitely a factor here as well, but also it's definitely just how teams are attacking him as well. And I think another thing to add as well is I believe Justice Hill had a crazy game last week, so
He had
I
a
think
huge
he might
touchdown.
get he had a huge touchdown, 76 yards rushing. So I think he
Hmm.
might have more. He might have a little bit of a battle there with Henry if Henry's not producing, but I definitely think this is the year that we see him outside of the top 10.
That's crazy to me. I don't know. Do
It
you
sounds
want
weird to hear.
to? Yeah. Do you believe that, G?
Oh man, I think he can bounce back. I think with the Lamar injury, when you're looking at it holistically, like game plan wise for the next few weeks, yeah, I think it's Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry, right? Like it has
Yeah.
to be. And the way I see it is like, and why I'm selling on this topic is just because of Lamar's injury. I think that is kind of
Yeah.
like obviously game changer. If he's not playing, they're gonna be a run first team. Cooper Rush is their backup. After that is I think Tyler Huntley. So it's not like
No
anything
way.
is really going to change in terms of where the ball is going to go, who's it going to get to the most. So I think for what's best for them and what's best for Henry is just for him to get a lot of these touches. And I think if they would play well, let's say against Houston and then the LA Rams, they can kind of build some momentum using him. Hopefully when Lamar does come back, they continue to use him the way he should be. And I don't think he's going to fumble much more.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, hopefully
I
not.
it's weird. You don't think that Derrick Henry is the fumbling type. You don't think he's like the,
Yeah.
oh, I'm only gonna get you 2 points in fantasy type. Like, but you gotta understand, like, and I agree with GG and Mitty, like the change in environment. I honestly think it is gonna help him a lot more because they need to rely on Derrick Henry in order to win these games. I don't understand why he only got 8 rushes last week because he was actually 8 for 42. That's actually not bad of a stat line. He averaged 5 yards per carry. So
Well, I think I heard someone on a different show or something say that the first 4 rushes you got 32 yards. So like he was cooking at the beginning, and it's like Derrick Henry it only gets harder to tackle as the game goes on.
exactly.
It's like he could tail good as time. So why would we not give him the ball more and more, especially in a game where you were kind of offensively just kind of sluggish anyways.
Yeah, there was a chance that, they kind of got too cute and they wanted to catch up, so they had to pass a lot more. But
Yeah.
honestly, like, I think one thing that is against Henry is the game script because he's not going to be a pass catching back out there. They're going to put in Hill for that. And if the Ravens defense
Yeah.
is as bad as they are currently, he's not going to be able to come in a lot because they're going to be behind and playing from behind a lot. So I'll give him that. But at the same
I'm just
time,
getting.
he's also, yeah,
Yeah, no, I got you. Just wanted to touch. I'm kind of getting like the similar vibes of this one, kind of like that 2023 season he had with the Titans his last year there. Because I know that was a little bit of a shit show too. But I mean, here and there, we'll see how it happens. Like I said, there's some favorable matchups that he has. There are some tough ones that we'll see. So that's why it's a little bit debatable from these points.
yeah. And I mean, right now let's look at the schedule because in this last month, he faced the Bills, which he dominated. Then he faced the Browns, which we think is a top 5 run defense. Then you had the Lions, who are also top run defense, and you have the Chiefs, who have been pretty good against the run. So I feel like it's more based on matchup versus his actual talent. And these guys have been forcing the ball out a lot, but I think he's that type of player who's gonna get better from that. So
And
I can't I can't sell on King Henry here.
it's these matchups are very difficult. Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah. All right, so that was buy or sell in terms of the biggest quarter season headlines so far. We'll see what this looks like later. You never know. You never know. And again, it's a long season, guys. When we get to the mid-season, when we get to the, near the end of the year where we're going to the playoffs, some of this is going to just not even exist anymore. Maybe we won't even be talking about Odunze or Quentin Johnston because, someone else has emerged. Like, don't take too much stock into these September headlines because you never know what's going to happen. Like, it's a long
I mean, I
season.
think last year at this point, Bucky Irving wasn't even a thing yet, right?
Nope, he was not. Like,
No.
I think the biggest thing is like the breakouts at the end of the season. Like, it's good to be up right now, but you can't ever stay content with this stuff because things change on a dime, as you've seen.
Yeah, most definitely.
Let's get into our week 5 starts and sits. Last week, we're always going to be honest with you guys, and last week we were not it. We went 9-11. We'll never forget that. it was just not a very good week for us. And I obviously had a couple that I missed. Gino was not very good. I hate flexing quarterbacks, man. Like when I'm streaming quarterbacks, the matchup is usually there, but sometimes they just shit the bed. I don't know what Gino was doing out there. Caleb
That's why we took you off quarterbacks this week, man. It's easy to take a week off of trying to guess quarterbacks. Just think about it.
Your best call, G, was Lamar versus Kansas City, and you said to sit him. Could have gotten a lot of controversy from that. Stuck to your guns, and he was terrible out there. He did leave from
I'm
injury.
Sure everybody just thought I was a hater.
I mean, you are a hater, but
I am. I was hoping they would call me that.
Okay, so I got benched from quarterback starts, obviously. So how about we kick it off? Mitty, how about you go first? You're in your return for your weekly starts and sits. Give us your first start.
Gotcha. My first start, I think a lot of people know who I'm going to pick. It's going to be my boy Justin Fields versus Dallas.
I swear every week you're on, you're just doing this.
The Fields? I mean, hey.
Yeah, I feel like every week you're on, you pick Fields.
Last time you were on, you picked Fields.
Was it against Buffalo?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was a shit show game. But hey, after a big bounce back week from Miami, and then also seeing how bad Dallas defense is, giving up so many points to the Bears, and then also to Green Bay as well, I think Fields is gonna cook. I think he played really well Monday as well. He started the game a little bit rough with all the turnovers. And also just how bad the game script was overall. Like there was definitely some bad calls, but he had he almost had that second touchdown to Garrett Wilson. Him and Garrett Wilson are connecting well. I don't know if you guys seen that pass interference that Wilson had that shouldn't have been pass interference. Yeah, you think that's the right call?
I think that was the right call because I didn't hear any of the announcers. I had it on mute, but I saw a push off there. I saw the push off. I don't care what. And we got to call more OPIs. That's what I think.
Wow, Matty's a ref now, so I take his opinion.
I think the rushing is there. Yeah, I think the rushing is there. I think Fields is definitely going to cook the Cowboys defense. And hopefully, the Jets get their first win.
I don't know if they'll get their first win, but they'll definitely cook. The Cowboys defense sucks, unfortunately. I think this is every week is just what quarterback is going against the Cowboys. Let me start him type of situation at this point. So another defense where you basically start the guy going against them is Daniel Jones versus the Raiders. He had an all right week last week. I mean, he got screwed out of a touchdown because the receiver dropped the ball out of the end zone. So we're not gonna act like that wasn't about like 8 points out, 9 points I was off. But he's consistent. He's been good. I really like him against his Raiders defense, which has shown us nothing that they're actually competent or good. So with that being said, I think it's a pretty free matchup.
That's free, super free.
Yeah.
And that takes me into my next start as well, which is another bad defensive targeting, but at the running back position. I got Woody Marks as my start for this week against Baltimore. Baltimore is god-awful as defensive-wise, too. They made the Chiefs look good.
They sure did.
And at this point, with all their injuries, I think Roquan's out this next coming week, too, so it's like just whatever position you want, you can kind of start against them. It should be good. And I think he's still available in most leagues. So I think he'd be a free pickup if you have Fab. I'd put a decent amount of Fab on him. I think he'll be there running back until Mixon comes back and maybe even the rest of the year after that. So
no way.
It's Woody time.
There's no Mixon coming back. I don't think they've heard from him. We don't even know if he's alive.
I think there was a report that came out a few days ago. They said that the coach, D'Amico Ryan, was like, he doesn't think he's going to come back. That's pretty much the summary of the whole thing.
Have we seen Joe Mixon? Like, just proof of life?
No, I have not. I don't know what to tell you about.
They got to figure it out, man. What the Texans do to him.
That is concerning. But then, Woody Marks is a full go.
Good job.
Yeah.
Woody Marks. All right. Well, I am going to go with Chuba Hubbard versus the Miami Dolphins as my running back start of the week. It has been inconsistent so far with Chuba, and he's one of my favorite players, and it's just really unfortunate that right now it seems like he's struggling, but it's not really because of him. It's because, one, they don't get touchdowns anymore in Carolina, and, I think that it's just he just hasn't had a great game script so far. He hasn't been able to run the ball as much. He's had only 10 carries in 2 games so far. The other ones, he had garbage time touchdowns, which saved his kind of his game performance. But right now, against the Dolphins, we just saw on Monday Night Football, even though the Jets lost, they gave up a lot of rushing yards, the Dolphins did. To Fields, he had that monster, 40-plus yard touchdown.
43.
Right?
Yep.
43. And then Breece Hall was going off. Braylon Allen was actually carving it up, but he did fumble, he did get injured, and he had to leave the game. But right now, the Dolphins' defense is just terrible. And I believe against the run, they are just in the bottom half of the league. So I think that Chuba, the only way for the Panthers to win is to not let Bryce Young pass it, give Chuba the ball, and just let him do his thing. I'd start him with full confidence. And if he does not do well this week, I'd probably consider benching him. And I hate to say that because...
So it's a starter bench?
It's a start, and if he fails, you really have to
Bench.
consider your options at that point.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like I see a theme here with your 2 starts here this week.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Miami defense is terrible, so I got to start Ted McMillan versus the Dolphins. And this one, I have to admit, I am a little bit scared of. I've always believed in the talent for Ted McMillan. You guys have heard this before. He is one of my draft crushes, and I thought he was going to be just an incredible wide receiver with the Panthers, and he is. You see highlight reels every week of him doing something incredible out there, and he's getting separation, he's getting open, he's making unbelievable one-handed catches. But there's an idiot at quarterback right now who doesn't know how to throw, and he can't see him. I watched that whole Patriots-Panthers game, and
it's still a start, right, Matt?
There's just nothing there with Bryce. Yes, it's still a start. But I just need to gripe a little bit because I told you guys that Bryce Young was going to be great this year. It's not looking great so far for that prediction. But if he can turn it around, he will have to turn it around versus the Dolphins, because if not, then they have to ship him off to Canada at this point, because there's just no way. You can't keep... I don't even know if he's going to start this week because they benched him for Andy Dalton last week. But either way, Tet should be a full go because they don't have anyone to stop him on the Dolphins side. So, Bryce or Andy, I'd try to start Tet. I'd keep starting Tet, but it's getting a little dicey there with the Panthers quarterback situation, and they got to figure something out there. Free my man, Tet.
Yeah, I agree. I think this week is matchup proof. It's just the matchup is so good that the quarterback situation won't particularly matter.
Better be. Fucking Bryce.
And then I don't have a wide receiver start, but, I did this last year. Randomly, I'll tell you guys players I like to buy in on. And just one of my guys I'm buying is Jalen Waddle, man. It's going to be time. It's the dynasty, the destiny he is supposed to have here. It's going to happen here.
Never rely on Jalen Waddle. When you rely on Jalen Waddle, that's when he hurts you the most, and himself.
Oh, jeez. I was going to say, that's the only thing that can stop Jalen Waddle is an injury.
That's a pretty frequent thing to stop him.
Okay, but this time not. He's healthy for the most part.
You think a Jalen Waddle with a full load is now going to, be healthy? I don't know, man. Sure, he's going to be passing to Nick Westbrook-Akine very soon.
I don't know, man. You can hate all you want, or you can just accept that he could be a great.
Yeah, I'm going to hate.
Oh, no, we see Waller on the rise, too.
Oh, all right. Well, do you have a better wideout start for us, Mitty?
That's okay. We can go to our tight ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what time it is. I was waiting for this all week here. It's our favorite part of the show, or at least my favorite part of the show. It's a touchdown tight end guarantee.
I don't know if we hit on them. Have we hit a touchdown guarantee? I know we've hit on tight ends, but I haven't seen a guaranteed touchdown yet.
I could give you a guaranteed one right now.
That's what I like to hear, Mitty. That's attitude.
Yeah.
Fuck Matt's attitude, bro.
Fuck did I say?
You're doubting it, bro. It's a guaranteed touchdown.
No, man. I know.
All of them hit. What do you mean? What is this question you're asking?
You gotta go 3 for 3 then. 3 for 3.
We're going 3 for 3. I'm putting this in a parlay.
All right.
You're talking about 3 for 3. I'd say you're talking about a guy who just had touchdowns back to back last week and the week before. We're gonna go with our guy Dallas Goedert versus Denver's defense. I think that's a favorable matchup. I think Jalen Hurts only sees him. He doesn't see AJ Brown or Smith. I think that's the only guy he's really looking at the moment. But hey, he's been cooking, so I think he'll go putting up another touchdown this week. Go 3 for 3 piece right there. So tight end touchdown. Let's get it.
It's some bullshit, man. I saw those Hurts targets to AJ Brown. It says he has 9 targets. Those were some of the worst passes I've seen in my life. Like, I'm starting to
They
question,
shouldn't even count.
like, is Jalen Hurts, does he know how to throw? Did he forget how to throw in the offseason? Because it's starting to look like it. That, by the way, that touchdown to Goddard was a shovel shit or whatever.
Both
Yeah,
of
it was
them
a
were
shovel pass,
Yeah. So
Both
I
of
can't
them
You
even
got the
give him
touch
credit
push,
for
and now
that.
you got the shovel passes involving. Look at Philly
Merchant.
go.
Fantasy merchant.
Yeah, with that being said, a real tight end, a real man that's going to be in the end zone is Kelsey. The Chiefs are back. The offense is good. That's all. It's that simple. It's Travis Kelsey we're talking about here.
Okay. All right.
I like that. That's a good one.
Hard to make a better bet than Travis Kelsey in the end zone. All
Yeah,
right.
that's exactly so. I'm happy you understand, Matt.
Yeah. I hope you guys understand my pick. It's gonna be an analytical one here. It's gonna be Cade Otton versus the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle's been terrible so far, giving up touchdowns to tight ends. I think they gave up one to George Kittle. I think they gave up one to Jawan Johnson. You might want to check me on that. But they are right now 28th in the league against tight ends this season. Cade Otton has the opportunity because obviously Mike Evans is hurt. Chris Godwin's still coming back. Igbuka, he has been amazing so far, but I think Seattle is going to key in on him. They are really good on defense, but again, that one weakness right now on their defense is tight ends. So I think that Cade Otton has an opportunity to score here, and he should be on your waiver wires. So if you're like me and have Tucker Kraft on bye, maybe try to pick him up in a pinch and see if he can. Again, it's all about just getting a touchdown as a tight end when you're starting them in fantasy, because it's inconsistent the rest of the way. So we're giving you our best touchdown guarantees here. So I like Cade Otton.
Yeah, that's a juicy little parlay right there if I've ever seen one.
It's got to be at least 5 times, right?
Easy. I think the Cade Otton touchdown by itself might be that much.
I'm going to win you money, G.
Hey, man, that's all I need to hear.
Right.
But let's start our sits, man. Both of you guys got me a quarterback here. Let's see.
All right, it's Thursday Night Football, so that means it's Rams, Niners, and I am going to sit Matthew Stafford versus my 49ers. And you know me, I'm a miserable Niners fan, and I usually don't like jinxing my team, which means Stafford's probably going to go off. But this is how much I believe in it, because I don't believe it's going to be a jinx. Because, first of all, this season, the Niners have been incredible against the passing game. Like, their defense is probably the best part of their team right now. We lost Nick Bosa. We can't rush the passer, but we are pretty good in pass coverage so far. And, quarterbacks this season going up against the Niners, QB 31, QB 10, QB 16, QB 28. And that QB 10 somehow, unfathomably, was Spencer Rattler. I don't know how that happened. I didn't watch that game, but it just did. And I'm going to call that a one-off. And I think right now, Stafford's history versus the Niners, one, he's thrown an interception in almost every single game that he's played against the Niners. And the Niners have been fiending for one. I don't think they've had an interception in the last 10 or so games. And I think that regression's about to hit.
Is that actually a stat?
Yeah, I think they mentioned it all throughout the broadcast. Like, they haven't had an interception in like double-digit games. It's been the longest streak or whatever. Obviously, it's going to break because Stafford's, he loves throwing interceptions against the Niners, and he struggles against them. Even when they won last year on Thursday Night Football against us, he didn't even have like a really good game. It was like a 9-6 shit off or whatever. So I think it's going to be, I don't think we're going to win because apparently we lost all our players again. But I don't think Stafford's going to have a very good game either. It's probably going to be a very ugly game, once again, between two defenses. So we'll see.
Man, I wouldn't be surprised at all with that type of result. I mean, I think also with the Thursday night, it's always under kind of type of night.
Always. They play in 2 days. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's probably not good for them, but we're not worried about that tonight.
All right. So for this one coming up, I have for the sit as my quarterback, I have Bo Nix versus the Eagles. Nix, he played good Monday, but this Eagles defense is, like I said earlier in the show, is pretty much their offense. And I think Bo Nix is going to go ahead and struggle in that game. The Eagles defense looks pretty good at the time being right now, but I think they'll definitely come out and destroy Bo Nix in that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, he played decent against the Bengals, but that's the Bengals. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not
Everyone
using
plays
that
good.
as like the litmus test of if you're a good fantasy quarterback or not. I think it's probably he's just not a little overrated from what people thought he was going to be this year.
Yeah, he was projected. I forgot what the ADP was set at, but yeah, a lot of people are very disappointed about that pick.
Well, I'll start off with the running back position for us. I think it's just bread and butter at this point. We talk about the bad defenses, but there's also good ones. So against the good ones, we don't want certain positions. The Browns being one against for running backs, where I'm totally good off of it, and that continues for this week. There's no way I can start Jordan Mason. He didn't look too good against the Steelers. I don't know how good he'll look against the Browns. So I'm definitely benching him this week completely. He's not even a flex option for me. I know the projections are going to look nice, but it's just a trap. Those sleeper projections too, they've been inflated all year. I don't know if you guys thought of seeing this or not, but they see so inflated this year.
I think they always project, like, if you're a top running back, they give you 20 points. And I feel like that's just not always, like, I feel like top running backs don't usually hit 20.
I think it's like closer to like 16.
Yeah, like it's like a healthy 16. Like, and then they're always projecting like 136, 123, but then it's like 98, 115 or something. Like it's like we just read out those scores.
You don't see any bad projections nowadays. I think that's just to like kind of hype people up a little bit more for the actual week.
Maybe it's like betting odds stuff. Who knows? All right. Well, I am gonna give my sit of the week. I am gonna sit Chase Brown versus Detroit. It's just over, guys, unless the Bengals get a new quarterback. Apparently, the rumor is that they're going to try to go for the Giants and get one of their quarterbacks. If that happens, I guess you should be optimistic because I think Russell Wilson can throw a pretty good moonball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
I think Jameis would be
Jameis would be amazing. It's just a gunslinging shit right there. And, either one of those, anybody but Browning. But I can't even blame Browning because what I saw last week, they couldn't even try to get Jamar Chase the ball. Like, he was yelling at Zach Taylor, get me the ball. And, you didn't see any screens. You didn't see any slants that came from it. Like, you get him involved. You at least try to get him going. So, I mean, that's just bad for Zach Taylor. So, I don't know what they're doing.
I thought Browning would be better because I think 2023 he had some glimpse of the show because Burrow got hurt. So,
I think the thing with Browning is that people are kind of confused on how Browning's season in 2023 how it really went, because I actually fun side note, me and Matt here on a dynasty team, and we have Browning, but his first 2 weeks he was quarterback 23 and quarterback 18, and then he went on a tear, quarterback 4, 8, 21, 8, 9. So it did take him a couple weeks to get going. It just didn't look this bad, is which I think more concerning. Because right now he's played basically 2.5 weeks, and the half week was his best week so far. I mean, last week was just atrocious. But it also is Minnesota and Denver defenses, which are good. And
does that mean you're gonna buy the Bengals offense moving forward, G?
A light buy. I would check a price tag on Jamar Chase. Like in this other league, someone offered my friend. He had a quarterback that went down or something, and they had Patrick Mahomes. So he offered him Jamar Chase for Patrick Mahomes straight up, and I was like, that's just insane.
I honestly agree with you, though. I think you should start inquiring about those options because I don't think they can. If Browning sucks, then they will trade for a quarterback, and the situation will change. If Browning does well, then the options will get better. The situation
changed, yeah. I don't think that it gets lower, but for this week, the matchup is kind of cooked still.
Sit Chase Brown. Still sit Chase Brown. Bad matchup. They're not going to run as much because Detroit's going to go big and just score endlessly on them. And, there's not a lot of scenarios in which I see Chase Brown having a good week unless they pass him 20 times and just do 20 checkdowns. That's the only way.
It's possible, but it's not something you want to start your basis off of that.
Exactly. So, sit him. And then I'm going to go back to back here. I'm going to piggyback off of Mitty's sit of the week, and I'm going to go Courtland Sutton versus the Eagles. Sutton's a great option. He's always a consistent flex guy who somehow gets you double-digit points no matter what. And it's like he's a reliable mainstay in your lineup. But he does tend to have his duds, and I think against Quinyon Mitchell, he's going to have a dud because that Eagles defense, like Mitty said, is their offense. It's legit. And Vic Fangio, he's going to just find a way to shut him down, shut Bo Nix down, come up with a lot of pressure, and just force Nix to just crumble under it. So I don't see a great week for Cortland Sutton moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good matchup so far in terms of like where you want to find your sits from, right? In Philadelphia. And yeah, we agreed on the Bo Nix pick with Mitty earlier, so I think this goes hand in hand. And another kind of fucked matchup just in terms of defense and now quarterback situation is Zay Flower. I feel like this is an easy sit. This might be a sit till Lamar comes back because I don't trust Cooper Rush enough to start him in this low pass volume offense, which it will be for the next couple of weeks while Lamar's out. Until he's back, I wouldn't start Zay. I'd have to see it before I'd even think about it. And by then, Lamar should be back. So next couple of weeks, and I'm not going to do it again next week, but this week is Zay Flowers to sit. Lamar's out, Zay's out, my lineup.
Even during like regular times, like Zay's inconsistent because they don't pass enough, right? So I don't even know what to believe without Lamar. So it's very hard to trust.
And we were just talking about how they should think about rushing Henry the ball as much as possible. So that doesn't bode well for Zay Flowers here.
Yeah. All right, Mitty, sit of the week at tight end. Who you got?
Okay, I'm glad to go on this one because I also wanted to get your guys' thoughts about this one too. But I know this is a concern because I know a lot of people screwed up on this pick. But it's going to have to be Njoku versus Minnesota. I have Njoku in one of my leagues. The guy is just not reliable on offense or even seeing what he's doing. Probably just blocking or just running around slowly. But, yeah, the Browns aren't getting him involved.
Honestly, there's a lot of running around slowly.
Yeah.
Cardio, you mean.
There's going to be there's a quarterback change. I know you guys heard about that, but we'll have to see what that even looks like.
Yeah, real quick, though, what do we think? Is that a good thing? Or is it just...
it has to be done. Just has to be done.
It has to be done.
For fantasy purposes, though, like,
too slow.
We kind of talked about the Cooper Rush offense is kind of cooked now. We talked about the Browning backup quarterback situation, but what do we think about this year?
Flacco doesn't look good. So,
but is Dylan Gabriel going to look any better is my question.
I think that's what they have to do. And honestly, Mitty, like, one thing I'll point out is tight ends are a rookie quarterback's best friend. So that's the only thing.
But to Mitty's defense, true. I think you guys could both be right. Tight ends can be a rookie quarterback's best friend, and David Njoku is really slow while he's on the field because I think Fannin would be the quarterback, or the tight end the quarterback kind of clicks with the most.
Yeah.
Because he's also probably, taking a lot of those second team reps during the training camp with Dylan Gabriel. So I feel like he's going to have a nice chemistry with him. I feel like rookies always have good chemistry with other rookies.
Yeah. He's been in the league for a long time too.
Yeah.
Who? Which one? Njoku?
Njoku, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, Njoku. Yeah.
The father time is clicking on him.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I feel like he was just drafted. We're getting old.
Do you remember the day and moment David Njoku was drafted or something? Like, what are we talking about?
By the Giants. Remember? He was drafted by the Giants.
Was he?
Yeah, man.
I don't remember any of this.
Oh, wait. No, he wasn't drafted by the Giants.
I think you're thinking about Evan Ingram, bro,
yeah,
which is not the same thing.
Completely different person.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, I think you have the last start of sit here for the week, right?
Yep. Well, it's getting late, guys, apparently. So I'm going to finish it off here. Hunter Henry is my sit of the week. We tried to predict the Hunter Henry sit game last week against the Panthers. We were almost right, but he managed to catch a last-second garbage time touchdown to save his, week. We'll give him that. We'll take the L there, even though I feel like we were still right. But at the same time, this is going to be the week that he fails because prime time, everyone's relying on him. He scored double digits in the last 2 games. Has to happen this time, right? It's just a gut feeling.
Eventually it's going to happen. Why not this week?
Eventually we're going to keep making his downfall, and he's just going to be a top 5 fantasy tight end for the entire season. Maybe that's the key.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like one of those things. At this point, if we're not right, we got to eventually keep going with it, and we're going to be right.
It's like when you picked Trey McBride as a touchdown guarantee for like 5 straight weeks or something, and he finally hit.
Yeah, no, it's like rewarding. It felt even better than getting it right the first time almost.
It's like, I told you 5 times.
Yeah, but I think that's it for the week.
Yep. That is all our starts and sits. We are going to give a full list of our starts and sits on our Twitter and on our thread, so stay tuned for that. That's at sports_counsel. Stay tuned. We post that on Saturday afternoons. And then we also post any questions that you want to ask. We'll answer them for the entire weekend, all the way up till game day. And again, you can always go to our Discord and ask any personal questions that you want in terms of your starts and sits, or your trades, or your any kind of fantasy decision you're kind of debating. Our analysts are always in the Discord, and we will answer whatever you want there. So, once again, social media, sports_counsel. It's in the Discord. Discord link is in the server if you want to join. That'll do it for today's podcast, guys.
Late night. You didn't get too freaky tonight, huh?
No. Maybe we'll get
no diddling going on.
Yeah.
No diddling going on this week.
Well, I hope so. I didn't see anything, but I can't see you guys. So we'll
you know what I'm doing to the sound of your voice, Matt.
Oh, okay. We'll discuss it after the podcast. Maybe we'll do something then. All right.
Okay. Yeah, sign me up.
All right. We gotta go, guys. I'll see you later.
See you.
Peace.